two things I want to share with you is the whole thing about spousal preferences being fulfilled. Spousal satisfaction. A marriage that is fulfilling is a marriage in which spousal satisfaction exists. The more you satisfied as a spouse in a marriage, the more fulfilling that marriage will be. Do you understand that? But you as a woman or a man have spousal needs. The more those spousal needs, preferences and desires are fulfilled, the more the marriage is fulfilling. If you have spousal needs like loyalty and those are not met, as an example, then you won't be fulfilled. So the formula is that you, with the specialized education and the premarital support that we give you here, the personal development education and the premarital support that is given to you here, you can get yourself soulfully married. I can show you the clarity you require for you to step on the way, developing yourself and preparing yourself to be the best spouse you can be, to the best spouse you can have. How to create that. So, spousal satisfaction has three components to it. The first one is marital needs. The second one is love desires. And the third one is your interactional or relational values. So, if all three are met by your spouse, you will experience spousal satisfaction. There is a fourth one that I'll also mention now. But these are the three main ones. The fourth one will just take you to the next level. But if these three are met, it's great. The fourth one takes it to the next level. So, what are the three? I said marital needs. So, what are marital needs? Marital needs is being in a container with somebody. Like when you are in a relationship with somebody, it's a container. It contains two people. There's a container. Your marriage is a container. When you're with somebody, you can be contained or uncontained. Now, if you're with somebody and you are uncontained, it feels very hectic. You know what I mean? If you're in a relationship with somebody and that person is going out and doing their own thing and being with everybody else and being with other women, if you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, you'll feel very uncontained. You'll feel very unsafe in that relationship. You'll feel vulnerable. You'll feel threatened. You understand? So sometimes a marriage is uncontained because the person you're with is not adding to safety, in terms of you don't feel safe with them. So either you don't feel safe physically, you don't feel safe emotionally, you might not feel safe with them financially. Like the way they're behaving is jeopardizing you. It's putting you in harm's way. For example, if you're with somebody and they're a heavy drinker and while traveling they drive under the influence of alcohol, that marital need is safety, and you are endangered by that person. But that person driving under the influence of alcohol, you don't feel contained. You are with somebody, but you can't trust them. You're with them, they're not in your welfare. You're with them, and it endangers you to be with them. Right? So that is like an example of a marital need. Or the person can get so angry that they can break things. You feel threatened, vulnerable. You don't feel safe, Or the person can be emotionally belittling or shaming and so on and so forth. They can call you names, insult you, run you down. It can also be not just around safety. It can be being with a person can be distressful or even burdening. If your man has to always go, you have to go to get him out of jail because he's driving under the influence of alcohol, or he's a thief, he's stolen from somewhere, he has to go to court. It can be distressful. It can also be burdening. Sometimes, you have to look after somebody, you got your own financial resources, you have to share it with them, and they are, they just, gambling away their money and you have to pay the drug merchants or the gambling merchants or whatever it is you have to pay. It's distressful, and it is threatening, is endangering of themselves, endangering of you. It can be a burden on you. So a lot of women end up in these kind of marriages because they don't ask themselves, what are my marital needs? So in this particular case, loyalty is a marital need that somebody might not own. And they can end up in a situation where they are with somebody who betrays them, steals from them, cheats from them, hides information from them. So loyalty is a marital need. Now, some women might not realize I have a requirement for loyalty, that if I'm married, what I require to support this container, for me to feel contained rather than feel uncontained. Because when a man is talking to other women, or a woman is talking to other men and flirting and all, that marriage feels uncontained. You don't feel like safe in that marriage. You feel like I'm in danger, or I'm not cared for, I'm vulnerable. You get what I mean? I'm in distress, I'm stressed. So you got to understand that when you're getting married, are you aware of what is termed marital needs that provide a solid container, a container that keeps you contained, that you feel secure, you feel assured, you feel that you can trust the person, you don't have to live in fear, you don't have to feel in stress and distress. So, you can realize, I'm getting married, I want a marriage that is going to add to the quality of my life. I don't want a marriage that's going to take away from the quality of my life. I want a partner to feel they're caring and to feel, safe with them. Now, sometimes in a relationship there might be no communication, and that relationship can be uncontained because you got to understand the person's got to understand you, there's plans to be made, and sometimes the person doesn't communicate. They just do whatever they want to do when they want to do. You get what I mean? And that can be unsettling too. You don't know where the person stands on things. You don't know whether they're coming or going. You feel like unaware of stability. So stability is like a marital need. Stability. What would add stability for you in a man? Now you might say, I don't know. So look and see whether your mother had stability. Look and see whether your parents were married. Did they have the stability? Did your mother feel contained? Did she feel safe? Look at people around you. You got to become aware, like, what do I need for stability? I can't just be with somebody and they're doing their own thing and I don't know, because it's a bond. It's two people together, living together and being in harmony and moving forward together, supporting themselves and each other, adding to their life, not creating more drama and trauma. So a lot of women, they don't realize that they might have patterns and blocks that cause them to be in danger or cause them to become distressed. Now, you remember we had examples of the Sally, silly Sally. She doesn't think for herself and she just wants to please everybody. She can end up feeling very distressed. And we had that one that was the suffering Safiya. She's the one who's going to find men who are weak and have issues and so on and so forth. And she's going to be attracting men who's going to use her, abuse her. She's going to get stressed and strained. So there are identities, blocks and barriers that can compromise you in terms of you defeating yourself. You can defeat yourself if you have this kind of personality and this kind of underdevelopment. And so you want to see, do I put myself in harm's way? Do I actually end up being with people who hurt me, harm me? Do I end up having friendships where I get used and abused? Is it one way usually with other people? You can begin to see whether you are at risk for marital instability or an uncontained relationship. And so you can address that. You can ask yourself, like, what do I want? Am I unconsciously heading down the road of having my marital needs unmet? Which type am I of the woman, the different woman? What is my risk profile? So that's one part of it, like, am I aware of what I require to have my marital needs met, to have stability and support, and to feel connected, and the container is there. We together. There's harmony together. There's no stress, distress. There's no me in danger, vulnerable. And the other side of it is equally true, that can I serve? Do I have what it takes to serve another in this kind of unity, this kind of teamwork? So some women are like not team players, right? They're like, no, I know everything. I don't want to hear anything from anybody. You can't talk to them. They're highly defensive. They want to control. So sometimes you might be choosing a partner who's going to destabilize the marriage. Or you can be the one who's destabilizing the marriage. You could be a flirt. You could be somebody who doesn't feel good enough, that needs to talk to men and get excited, or, excite men, or whatever it is. It can happen that you in some way might not be a team player, you might be not loyal, you might not be there for your partner, you might act in a way that harms yourself, harms the relationship. You might be floozy. I'm just saying, somebody might be just drink alcohol, next thing they're sleeping with the whole world, whatever. It can happen that this has happened, and can happen that, are you able to create a security with yourself, for yourself, and can you add to the marriage stability, or will you be a source of destabilizing the marriage? So sometimes women can get angry and upset and have a temper because they're insecure. They can carry guilt, they project guilt, they're blaming, they're shaming you. That's a form of destabilizing. That you're in a relationship, you're not at peace, you don't feel secure, and so you need to take it out on somebody. Blaming, angry all the time. You can be insecure like that, neurotic in that kind of way. Or you might choose a partner who's like that. Impatient, not peaceful, not allowing. You don't know about being at ease, allowing, and you don't know about, like, you are responsible for your own security and feeling good that you're okay, and that you're okay with you and your body and your life. You get what I mean? You might be... a woman can have issues about herself and her body, and she might think she's not good looking or not good looking enough. But the man might say, you're good looking enough for me. I'm satisfied. I don't need a Cosmo model here. You know what I mean? You have a good attitude. I enjoy you. You're clean. This is great. We enjoy sexuality. But the woman might feel like, I don't feel good about myself. Other women are better than me. You get what I mean? She hasn't accepted herself. She's not in the valuing of herself. She doesn't know her value. She doesn't know that she cares for herself, her body. So she might enter a relationship where she's looking at this man. Are you looking at that woman? Are you looking at that woman? You're talking, So sometimes men can be flirts, but sometimes they're just talking as normal, whatever it is. And the woman's insecurity around her body, it's like you're talking to that pretty one. Or you're looking on the television, this woman is beautiful, I feel ugly. These things, whether it's in a man or a woman, they can really, really compromise the marriage. They can really compromise it. If you're not comfortable with you and okay with you, if you're not comfortable with your body and okay with your body, if you're not comfortable, with joy and joyfulness and enjoying yourself, you will make your life miserable, and you'll make your spouse's life miserable. You get what I mean? So these are things that got to be addressed under development. That's why you got to come right with yourself. When you realize I'm good enough for me, this partner I can see, they value me, and I am being a good spouse to them. I might not be the most handsome guy, I might not be the most prettiest woman, but you know what? I'm available, and I'm attending, and I'm caring, and I love this person. This person sees they value me. So these are things that not only can we sabotage ourselves going in, but also we defeat ourselves by not realizing what we require. And we have a man who's feeling insecure, he's highly possessive, he's controlling, He wants to control us. That's destabilizing. It's destabilizing. Or you can be the woman who's the version of that man who's destabilizing. Because you doubt yourself whether you're good enough. You doubt that there's some value in you. You doubt whether your body is attractive enough. So now all that is projected onto the partner. You don't love me. You're looking at other women. And that man is like, but what are you talking about? And you're like, no, it's you. In the meantime, you're projecting your own inadequacies and your own insecurities. So it's very important for you as a person to look at what are my marital needs? Do I understand what is marital stability? Do I understand what it means to be in a relationship with somebody where I'm contained? What do I require to be contained? You've got to own your own marital needs. That I'm looking for a partner who is secure with themselves, their bodies, in their lives, that they don't look at me like they start thinking I'm some kind of woman wanting every man. You know what I mean? In the meantime, it's their own doubt. I don't want this man who's controlling me, insecure. You get what I mean? I want a man who's calm, he's secure, whatever. And I also want to be a person who's comfortable with me, my body, and my life, that I don't have to make my stories, my issues, another man's issues. You know what I mean? You got to be comfortable with you. The man's got to be comfortable with himself. And that's how it works. So, that is the first of the three elements of spousal satisfaction or spousal preferences. That you get your spouse. So if I ask you, regarding your spousal preferences, can you tell me what are your marital needs? Can you express to somebody, can you see it in your imagination? And with somebody, for me, loyalty is very important. Somebody for me who is secure. They don't feel insecure within themselves and take it out on me. I feel safe with them in every possible way. I feel they're interested in my welfare. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel vulnerable. I'm not in danger in any way. I don't feel burdened by the person not expecting me to look after them. There's my stepchildren with them and their mother and father, and I don't feel burdened. I feel like this relationship is respecting me as a person and who I am and my life and what I want for my life. I'm not in a marriage where somebody says, well, you're married to me now, you must do this and you must do that. I'm your slave. You know what I mean? You're my slave now. I married you. So you got to get all that right around stability, containment. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your love desire. So what is a love desire? Love desire is, what do you find appealing, attractive, or you admire in a person? When you're looking at a person, and you're meeting a person, and you're being with the person, what are the characteristics that you can see, hear, smell, taste, touch? Like, what is it about this person that you admire? At a sensorially level, and you look at them, what do you admire? So somebody might say, this man is educated. I'm just giving an example. This man is very good at fixing things. This man is a man who is taking responsibility financially. This man has money. This man is, he takes care of his health. He's clean, he's neat, he's tidy, he's hygienic. This man, these are things that turn me on. You get what I mean? As a person, I am not turned off by a person. The guy's teeth are clean, he doesn't smoke, he's got good habits. These are things I am looking for in a man, I admire. It can be, if you want a man who's muscular, then I want a muscular man. If I want a man who's intellectual, I want an intellectual man. You can have a man who's muscular and intellectual if you really must have that, and you want that. So, what do you find appealing and attractive? What do you find admirable in a person? This person has overcome great challenges in their life and they are doing so well, whatever. So when you look at them, a person is a physical being, a person is a spiritual being, a person is a psychological being, a person is a social being, a person is a behavioral being. What at all these levels do you admire, find appealing, or attracted to? What does it for you? That I desire this person. This person, it's exciting. That is the ego kicking in. The chemistry is part of it. But you must be able to say, not somebody's here and I hope it works out. You must be able to say, these are the things I admire in a woman, if you're a man. And these are things I admire in a man, if you're a woman. And, it's like, if you're to speak to them, if you're to be with them, what would you like that man to be? You might say he wears perfume, if that's what you like. It depends on who you are, and he takes good care of himself. We have the same eating preferences. We have the same dietary things. Instead of, you saying, I love, chicken, and that guy saying, I'll eat pork and this and that. And you say, but halal and all. So you got to know these things. You've got to know these things, not just halal but tayyib as well. Like, are you a person who's conscious of your eating? When you're sitting down at a meal, can you all share the same meal? Or that person's got like heavy differences with you and you got heavy differences with them. And you've got to be aware that what is it that I admire that harmonizes, that we actually harmonize. We have the same interests. He loves this kind of movies. He loves music. I love that music. We love dancing. We love singing. We love being playful. We love hiking together. These things I admire about this person. He's sporty. He's this. He's that. Dresses well. Admire. So now I got ahead of myself a little bit with the third part, which is the relational or interactional values. Interactional values is what are you experiencing with them? What are you experiencing with them? What is that pleasant, enjoyable experience? What are you doing together or enjoying when you are together? So you might say, we have great conversations. We talk about things that are, real. And we beyond the unconscious ways of living. This guy is not controlled by money, or this woman is not controlled by vanity. You know what I mean? This person is aware, and this person is got ambition in life or direction, and together we enjoy each other's company. What do you enjoy? He's vegan and I'm vegan. We're both vegan if you all are vegans. You know what I mean? We both teetotalers. We both don't drink. We both got good habits. The man is responsible. He's financially responsible. And this is where I gave you a whole list in last month's thing. Like, what do you want from that person? Your marital values. Like, do I want financial support? Then he can support me. Because you might marry, I love desire somebody who's got money. And they got money, but the value is not there of the experience. Like, he might not be generous. So there I enjoy his generosity. I am a beneficiary to his. He does things for me. He cares about me. You understand? He spends on me. He might not spend everything, but he spends on me. I know this man will say, he's not a stingy. He's got a lot of money, but he's not stingy. You get what I mean? He's kind. I feel the kindness. We connect. I enjoy our when we go out together doing these things. We have the same interests. We have the same ambitions in life. We want children. We want to grow up children. Whatever it is, if that's where you are. And, I'm just giving you an example. Somebody can have money, but they might be stingy and they're not generous. Somebody can be physically good looking, but sexually they might be completely unsatisfying. They might not have a good sexual attitude, and they might not participate in sexuality. So you can have something that looks good and all that, but if it doesn't hit the spot, you know what I mean? If you're not if you get disappointed. Like, I thought he had all this money, he's going to share it with me, but I didn't say I want a person who's generous and who gives financial support. You know what I mean? So somebody might just see somebody and say, this woman is going to help me, or this man is going to help me with domestic, with my work, whatever it is. And only to find out that this person is completely absorbed in themselves and their own work, and they've got no time for you and, for other things and all that sort of thing. And then you're like, oh my God, she's not some person who's going to hate me or hit me or harm me or distress me. And she's all good looking, or he's all, good looking, and he's got a lot of value in him and whatever. But you know what? Living with him, my spousal values are not met. The guy might be an intellectual and he's talking big talks with everybody else, but he can't talk to me. We can't even laugh together. We can't even play together. We can't have fun together. Now, it depends on you, what do you want out of that marriage in terms of satisfaction, in terms of spouses. When you're with a person and you're married to them, it's not just about, I got somebody to sign my marriage contract with me. It's not just about that. It's about you as a person and the quality of experience you're having with another person in a way that you can only have it with a spouse. When you're with a spouse, there's only certain things you can do with a spouse you can't do with other people, generally speaking. If you do it with other people, it's called extramarital relations. So, like emotional connection. Some people can't have emotional connection. The man is there, he's rich, he's got everything, but he's not available. And you can't talk to him, and he looks at you and you tell him about your feelings and all that. He's like, I don't want to hear all this. You know what I mean? And you'll be like, okay, I don't feel attended to, I don't feel cared about, I don't feel connected. Now you speak to other people, they talk to you, and you say, this feels so nice. You know what I mean? So instead of going forward, unconscious, lost, and you don't know what's important to you, you can ask yourself, am I interested in a lifetime of marital fulfillment? Because that means it's going to be through spousal satisfaction. So spousal satisfaction got 3 areas. I told you, marital needs, love desires, and lastly, your preferences, your values. So they are primary values. So there's a fourth part, and I'll tell you the fourth part. So there are certain things that you want your partner to do for you, that you want to choose a partner who's happy to do that for you. If you're a person who likes talking about your feelings and likes to be with somebody who can hear you, then you must know conversation is up on my values, connection is up on my values. That's something that's important to me. Because I can be married to somebody, but I'll be alone, nobody to talk to. Not that I need somebody, but I want somebody to talk to and share my life with. I want somebody that they can be interested in me and I'm interested in them. Now, there is a secondary value. Like, for example, you might want the person to be caring towards your stepchildren. Your children, their stepchildren, if you have any. Or you might want that person to be kind to your parents. Right? And they might not be unkind to your parents, but they're not the way you want them to be with others in your life. You see? So that is up to you. If that person is rude to your parents or rude to your children or violent or whatever it is, they're lovely to you, you're having a beautiful time with them, they're caring to you and all that, but they are offensive to the people you love, for example, or they might talk to your boss or your co-workers in a way that's disrespectful. Now that can be a secondary value, you see. And so sometimes the secondary value is not violated. Like I want somebody, like let's say for example, right, you might be in the teaching and you want to continue with the teachings even after you get married. So you might say, look, this is Ashraf, whatever it is, these are my fellow students, and we get together at least once or twice a year or something, and we go out together and all that. This is what we do, it's our custom. We keep the connection with people and all that sort of thing. And if that person says to you, no, I don't like this, that guy is whatever. He doesn't have to be, respectful of me, but he doesn't have to. So if he starts coming and giving me calls and says, Ashraf, you know what, I married this woman and she's more interested in you and this, and start making my life a misery, only by my permission if I have that reflected back to me. You know what I mean? Then you might say, Ish, this is a deal breaker. Ashraf is a man who has supported me and I care and whatever it is. And I don't mind that he's not on good terms with Ashraf. But getting angry with Ashraf, that's a bit of an issue. So you have to decide at that point. So there are certain things that are not personal to you. So a partner can be like safe to be with, and you're contained and you're stable, and they might have good qualities and things you like, you find them appealing and attractive, and they could be hitting the spot for you while you're with them. But regarding extended things in your life, they might be like, oh, you're going on a hike again. You might be a heavy extrovert, they might be a heavy introvert, or you might be a heavy introvert and they might be a heavy extrovert. They might be like out every weekend with their buddies fishing, and you're sitting at home. But generally, during the week and all that sort of thing, you connect. But the guy is more with his buddies, for every weekend of the, not like once a month or, whenever it is. It's like, this is something that person is, they're good generally. But there's something else that it's a little bit of a downer and a disappointment. So that might not be a direct violation. And so you might say, I'm okay with it. Or you might say, this is now violating something. And this is an issue. So you've got to look at other things that are important to you in your life, that you are involved, that is beyond the marriage. That is, you got children, you got family, you're part of some group, unless you want to leave the group, that's fine. The guy says, leave your family, leave the group. If you're happy to do that and go full out into it and say that solves the problem, then it's fine. But if you say, no, I'm part of this team, or I'm part of this, is something I love doing, and I'm not prepared to compromise on that. I don't expect you to be respectful and participate, but the violation of this area of my life is an issue. So that's just an extended value, secondary value. I'll call that extended values that you have, that you want to consider. Like, what makes you different from other people generally, and what you do, and does your partner understand that? that you have a life outside of the marriage, and your family is important to you, or your children are important to you from another husband, and that you want them to meet that. But if they don't meet it, it's one thing, but violating it is another. So that's really what you want to look at. You want to look at, and if you've been through a marriage and it failed, if you've been through relationships and they failed, this is great, because now you can begin to look and say, okay, so why did that relationship fail? Did I become aware of my marital needs? Did I become aware of my love desires? Did I become aware of my relational or interactional values? What were they? So this now will inform you as we go forward and create a vision of what do you want. So if I asked you, which I did in the beginning, like, what do you want in a marriage? Now, you might have said a tall guy, a short guy, whatever it is. I want a guy who wasn't married. I don't want to be a second wife, whatever you might say. But now you are mature enough as a human being to understand that marriage is not fantasy. And you might have had some elements of it, but these are all the elements of it. For example, if you got an aging mother and you're looking after her, and your husband says to you, I don't want you to do that, but you want to do that. Or your wife says that, I don't. So you might be like, I've got an aging mother and she's got nowhere to live and she'll have to live with me. And he's like, yeah, you can live with me, but I hate her living with me and I can't stand her living with me. You know what I mean? So these are the kind of things that you want to look at in life. So I trust that you have been given more information for you to create your own vision. That now it's not, I'm a child and I'm hoping and wishing and all that sort of thing. Because this is what the mistake. So what is the mistake that smart women make? They are more focused on wanting and waiting that keeps them unmarried. Wanting, I need to get married, I can't find a man, I'm looking for a man, where is a man? They're concerned with the absence of a partner. Their concern is, I don't have a man, I'm not married, I'm trying to get married, when will I get married? I'm so worried. So this is a mistake women make, because what you focus on expands. If you focus on, I'm not married, I don't have a partner, I can't find one, you're just going to create that wanting, that needing, and that waiting, I'm waiting for a man to be interested in me, and one day when a man is interested in me, he'll propose me, and then I'll be married. Because both are holding you back, because nothing is stopping you. You can begin to say, I would love to marry, and I'm clear now on how to step along the path of marriage. What are my marital desires? What are my marital needs? What are my love desires? What are my spousal values? My marital values, or my relational values, the experience. What do I want to experience with them? When I get up in the morning, I look at them, they are physical beings. What do I find appealing? What do I want to relate to in the physical? They are mental beings. When I talk to them, what do I want to experience mentally? How they are with other people. They are social beings. They have money, they work or don't work. They have money or don't have money. Are they responsible? So there's spiritual, there's physical, there's emotional, there's intellectual, there is social, there is financial, there's career, there is recreational interests. So when you start looking at people and you're saying, who am I in all those dimensions? And who would suit me? See, who would suit me? And now you are beginning to have a vision. You're beginning to create a vision. Creating a vision is very important. And you create a vision to include all these elements. Because through a vision, you know clearly, this is the marriage that I want. Not I want to get married. This is a marriage I want. So women who are saying, I'm not married, I can't find a man, saying, where is he? I'm waiting for him. They are not focusing on, I can get myself married. I don't have to look for, there's no man, where's the man? I don't have to look for a man, if I'm wanting one. And I don't have to wait for a man. I can get going by creating my marriage. First and most important thing is, I must have as clear a picture as I can about the marriage I want to have. I don't have to worry about the man and who's the man. That doesn't matter. What matters is I must be clear about him. He's a physical person, he's a spiritual person, he's a behavioral person, he's an emotional person, he's a mental person, he's an intellectual person, he's a social person, he's a career person, he's all these dimensions of life. He's recreationally how he is, his behaviors, his habits. This is, if I could have whatever I wanted, what would I want? See, if I could have whatever I wanted in marriage, what is the match? So the mistake they make, the women who can't get married and don't seem to attract the right partner and they remain unmarried and they can fall into the category of never married woman. The mistake they make is that they don't own their power to create their own marriage. They're more focused on, I don't have one, I'm looking for one. Is there one? I don't think there's one. I'm waiting for somebody to marry me. So when they realize, that's the mistake I'm making. I don't have to wait I don't have to wait for anybody. I got to get clear about marriage and what is the marriage I want to have. And this is a soulful marriage. And what is a soulful marriage? It's satisfaction, spousal satisfaction. So for me to be satisfied as a spouse, there's this 3+1 areas. Marital needs, love desires, and marital needs, love desires, and this interactional or relational values. The primary ones that concern me and the secondary or extended ones that got to do with areas of my life. Because not only my partner meeting my needs directly is going to please me, but my partner actually indirectly respecting me and the extended part of my life, that's going to please me too. So you can recognize, I don't have to wait. I don't have to look for no man where they are, can't see them and focus. What I can do is take pen and paper, and as a mature woman, I can begin to conceive of the marriage I want. Now, if you are in the child and you're heavily underdeveloped, you won't be able to do this as a mature, developed person would. But do it to the best of your ability. If you can say some things are quite obvious at the behavioral level, this is what I want, good habits. At a body level, this is what I want, this is the experience I want to have. I can see myself with this person. If you could have whatever you want, what would you want? What would be the ideal fulfilling marriage for you in terms of spousal satisfaction? And you write it down and you clarify it. So now you are getting a vision. So let me just complete this by saying that women who marry incorrectly, what is the mistake they make? They are using their uninformed mind to try and figure out whether the man who's interested in them is the right man. I'll say that again. The women who don't get married or can't find a man, or there's no man proposing to them and they're not married and they might enter into the never married category, they are wanting, they are in want, I want a man. They are needing a man. They are waiting for a man. So this waiting and wanting is unnecessary. Both hold you back. You don't have to wait anymore and you don't have to be in want anymore. You can use this particular philosophy, this particular teaching that focus on you and your future spousal self. Focus on your future spousal self. The pleased, satisfied and fulfilled future spousal self. Be more interested in your future spousal self than in finding a man or waiting for one to marry you. Start creating, energizing your future spousal self. That's like, what are they, what's important to them, what are they living, what do they want, what is supportive of them. And the mistake that the women who marry incorrectly make is they are hoping, this first man, he likes me, I hope he's the right one. And they go forward wishing he's the right one. And only to find out that they also made a mistake because they're not focusing on their future spousal self. They're not focusing on the reality that they want to have, that is their marriage. They're not focusing on the marriage. They are focusing on a man. This guy is interested in me, is he right? And they're trying from their uninformed mind to figure it out. So a lot of smart women will say, I went to school, I went to university, I'm a career woman, let me use my logic. And then they realize that they didn't honor their spousal needs, their marital needs, their love desires, and their their relational value. They didn't do it because that's what you got to do. So the mistake that smart women make is waiting and wanting, hoping and wishing. If you wait and want, you want and wait, you'll remain unmarried. If you hope and wish, you get married and it will be disappointing because both did not focus on their future spousal selves. Both weren't clear about the experiences they want to have. They didn't own their spousal preferences and they didn't show it to God, this is what I want. They didn't energize it, they didn't pray it in, and when they went forward into the world, they didn't go forward into the world with this whole vision. Now, regarding that vision, it's not an idea in your head. You understand? It's a real life living. So the people who try to do this exercise intellectually from their head, they'll find that it doesn't work. They're just doing an intellectual exercise. Now, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, that you must be able to see and feel that reality in the potential that it is within you, and it must inspire you and enthuse you. I'll give you an example. When I realized that there's a potential for me after working with women for 30 years to give women support going forward with all the information that I have gained from working with women, I became aware of a vision that I would be working with women, specializing, not to say we won't work with men, but specializing working with women, with a team of women. Because I got testosterone, right? I'm not a woman. If I stand in front of women and tell them, they'll say, you're the bastard, my husband, you like my husband, you know what I mean? He did this to me, they'll project shit onto me, right? So, but if I have a team of women who got estrogen and progesterone, and they tell the story of where they were and how they got to where they are, and the role that I played in my life, in their lives, then those women would be more keen to listen to me and get support from us. So what I'm trying to say is, I have a very real life vision that when I think about it, I can see it and I can feel it. And it's like alive in me. It's not in my head, I don't know, I'm trying to put this out on paper and see and try and... It's like I know, I got knowledge and expertise, and I know certain women out there will value it because they got no other option. Either stay there or move forward, and some women will move forward. So women are going to evolve one way or another, right? And I'm going to be there supporting them. I want to be there supporting them. And so I can see this, and I can see it happening. And I can see people that in my classrooms have the potential. I can see they're growing, they're developing. I can see, whether it's Amina or Fatima doing so well, I can see it. And obviously the Blissful Living students, Rabia and Tonya, doing so. I can see it. So I'm saying that I have a vision that is alive as a possibility that I can feel into. You know what I mean? It's not like an idea. Like, for example, if I say, okay, for me, what do I require? I'm at peace, I want a partner who's at peace. I don't blame anybody, I don't want to blame by anybody. I can see that happening, that I'm calm and I'm at ease, and another person enjoys calm and peace, and they enjoy my calm and peace, and we can be at calm and peace together. Somebody might say so boring, but enjoyable, right? That you don't have to lose your head with somebody. Nobody has to lose their head with you. You don't have to have guilt and project it onto others. Others don't have to have guilt and project it. How lovely to be a responsible person with another responsible person. How interesting that I'm interested in how I feel, they're interested in how they feel, and we value each other. Now I can see that. I can see that and I can feel that as a possibility. You get what I mean? And I can see and feel, for example, relationally, I can see and feel breaking through a pattern of mine, being with somebody that's there for me, and they care about me. There are women who can really care about me and be interested in me and value me. There are other women who will just take from me and use me for their own purposes and all that too. But there are women, I can accept, there are women who might say, Ashraf, you're an amazing guy, you really did your best, it's amazing, you just value me, it's a blessing to be with you, to learn from you, to be part of your journey together. I can see it, that I don't have to imagine myself with somebody saying, what's all this blissful living and all that. I can see, and I can see a person smiling at me and saying, it's an adventure to be with you. Now some people don't want to learn, grow and develop, they're reluctant, they're defensive. That's not going to cut it with me. because I'm changing, I'm growing. There has to be a partner who's comfortable with changing and growing. Those who are fixed are not going to like it being with me. They're going to get angry with me. I don't want to force anybody who's fixed to grow. You know what I mean? But the right person will say, this is amazing. I've been looking for this my whole life. This is an education, just being with you. Every day is so enjoyable. We're learning. Every day we're stepping into the unknown. I can see that in my mind. I can feel that. I can feel me being with that person, enjoying being with them, counting my blessings and saying, wow, all my spousal needs, you are ticking this box and that box and that box, and it's really lovely being with you, and I'm with you. I feel you're a great blessing into my life, and I'm so thankful to God for giving you to me, and we're enjoying satisfaction at every level. I'm happy, she's happy. You know what I mean? I can see it and I can feel it. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're very underdeveloped, these things are just words in your head. And when I say that, what's your vision? You will not be actually able to tell me who you are, who will serve you, who you want to serve, and who they are, the ideal person. You won't know, that's why we had to look at, and that's why I left those recordings there for you, that do you understand what spousal development is? That you become available to somebody, that you understand what people's need. You learn to communicate. You understand? So you learn to communicate. People learn to be attentive. You learn to be, affectionate, sexual, being sexual. You can learn all these things. That adults, when they are with adults, they enjoy satisfying sexual experiences, and it's a need that the body has, and we can satisfy it not by saying, oh, let's just do it. Some people just want to reach orgasm and that's it. But other people are like, you know what, we can eat rice every day and not starve. But we want to spice up our, meals and all that. Some people can eat bland forever, right? And they say, as long as we're eating. But some people say, look, it's not that we're eating, but it's the enjoyable, the enjoyment of it. So, you can begin to see how clear you are about a vision for you. Like, he's with me, I'm with her, we spend a lot of time together, and I enjoy that. And we together, but also we have our own lives. He's got his things, I help him. I got my things, he's helping me. You must be able to see who you are with this person. And so, to the degree that you are developed, you'll be able to create this vision. That what I like about him is this, and when my people with him, he's respectful, and I admire him. Other people respect him. I'm just giving an example. Other people respect her. She carries herself with dignity. Other people say, "Wow, what a lovely partner you got." And what are the characteristics about that person that you like? Using this framework of spousal preferences being satisfied through the need being met, the love desire being fulfilled, and the relationship value being there, available, and living those values, those relationship values. So you can always go back to the notes from last month and the recordings from last month, and and I'm going to organize this information even more for new students and all that. So this is where, at this particular time, you can begin to have a vision. Like, what is your intention? I want to experience spousal satisfaction. What does that mean? Are you aware of what spousal satisfaction means? That you are being supported by another in your marital needs, your love desires, and in your values. Your relational values, the interactional value, what you're doing together that you enjoy, this high quality being. Can you describe it? So the more you can fill in your vision in a way that is beyond your head. Like if I say to somebody, if I gave you, an extra 500,000 rands, what will you do? And they say, I'll go on a holiday, I'll blast it. That's not a very mature way of using money. You can say, look, some of it I'll go on a holiday. But others, I've got a debt I want to pay off. I wanted to buy this thing for my house for a long time. I didn't. That's the thing. So people, when the more mature a person is, when you tell them, like, here's the money, they will give you an answer that's mature. What are you going to use this money for? They won't say, I'm going to go on a holiday and spend all of it. They're not mature. You understand? A mature person will say, this is a resource. How will I use it? I'll invest some of it I'll go on a holiday, some of it I'll give to my children maybe, some I'll do this. This is something that I was wanting to change the car, I wanted to do this repair in the house. That's now a person who's mature. Now if you're immature, don't feel bad. The masters are like that. You can develop yourself. You can realize that I can't just think of getting married for where I am because I don't know what my needs are. I'm not even supporting them. I don't even know who's going to suit them. But if you are mature, and if I asked you, look, if you had a partner to share your life with, and this is the ideal partner for you, what would they be for in your life? What would they serve you for? And then you can say, we'll be the best of friends, we'll be the best of lovers, we'll be the best of people doing things that we do together. We both have the same interests. So if you ask me what I want, I can tell you because I know who I am and I know what would suit me and I understand. Like before, I didn't know women can get crazy and mad and behave badly. And I had that in my life. I didn't know that there's a thing called marital needs. I didn't realize that don't choose women that are psycho. I just married, and got involved with psycho women. I'm not judging them. I'm saying me. That was how psycho I was. I didn't know that. I only knew that if they looked nice, if they spoke nice, we could have a good time together in some way. We could, very good. But I didn't realize there was more than that. Yes, that's also there. I know some people who tell me, like, the marriage, how's the marriage? The sex is fantastic, everything else is horrible. So maybe sexual addiction is going on there. You get it? It's very likely. But there are people who've told me this. I want to divorce this man. So I ask them, like, what's the upside of this marriage? They say the sex is fantastic. He's a bad boy. Whatever. So you can begin to look at and say why would you want to marry? What would it be that would be happening that you would say this is a great marriage? What would please you in marriage? What is a partner for? What need, desire, preference would be met? What value would be fulfilled? The more you clear and you can write it down, then you have a vision. The less you can do that, you don't have a vision. But a vision is one of the most important things nonetheless, because you have to have the end in mind. You've got to begin with the end in mind. If you're not clear about the end, it's okay. It's okay. You can become clear. You can realize, hey, I'm not thinking about this maturely. There's a child that's just hoping and wishing. And even if you just want to marry for money, or marry for status, or marry for survival, it's okay. If you say, look, I'm going to use your method, but it's not going to be for marital satisfaction. I just want somebody who won't beat me up and give me money to spend. They won't beat me up, but I'll feel safe with them. They'll give me money, they'll buy me things, and I'm prepared to just do whatever they want me to do. I'm no princess and all that. I'll just be what they want me to be. And it's okay. As long as I got somebody. So some of you might say that. I just want a man, and the basic thing is he gives me money and looks after me. Get what I mean? He doesn't hurt me and doesn't hit me. I don't care if we have conversation and all that sort of thing. That's your vision. That's okay. That's what you want. I'm not going to, tell you that amplify. You can do better than that. You're aiming too low. I'm not going to tell you aiming too low. You know what I mean? You can be aiming too low. It's fine. But I will say to people, what is your ideal? What is it that what if it was, 1,000% the relationship you want? Can you tell me about it? What do you like about him? What does he do for you? What do you do for him? What does he like about you? What do you like about him? Why is he the blessing in your life that he is? Why does he say that you are the blessing? What is it about you that he appreciates and enjoys? You might say, I'm a great conversationalist. You might say, I'm a great partner in bed. You can say, I'm a great person who, I cook and he loves my cooking. Whatever the value you are, it doesn't matter. As long as you know the value you are, and these are the things about me he likes, he appreciates. And so we're going to look at what is the ideal, we're going to build it up, and then we're going to begin to look at what are the barriers and blocks that keep us. So this is the second thing that I wanted to share with you.